I've got a lovely little garland that I've made here using one of our gorgeous new stamp and die sets. It retails at £9.99, which is absolutely fantastic. We are doing the little bundle of all the goodies to make the same as what mine is there. So altogether, my lovelies, that's £15, and you'll have a couple of pounds for your postage. So hopefully our post offices will keep open and you'll be able to receive your goodies in the post. It's really good because you get the stamps and you get the dies all in one kit. I've actually die cut a mug ready and then just layered it on some backing card as well. So die cut them both at the same time, the pattern paper and the plain paper. It's best to die cut the shape of your cream on top of your mug first and then stamp your lines on as well. Got a little cherry stamp to go and a little sentiment ready as well. So what I'm going to do is do a little bit of colouring. I've got 4 colours that I'm going to use on here. They all match the coordinating paper as well. So you've got antique linen, forest moss, tattered rose, and we've got aged mahogany as well. So all you need is a little bit of water. I got a little spritzy bottle here that I'm just putting on a block at the moment. I've got my fine line pen for a bit of faux stitching as well. So make sure I have just a little bit of water, a little bit of tissue so I can rinse my brush as well. Make sure it's nice and clean. And then we're going to add some colour onto the icing, the creamy top first. So we're going to just put down a wash all over of antique linen. If it feels a little bit dry, the colour's not moving, just pick up a little bit of water. And I'm just going to cover it all over, and then we're going to give it a nice little bit of a pinky shade. So this is all with antique linen. It's on Langton hot pressed watercolour card, and I've stamped with Stays on Stone Grey as well because I really don't like it. Black is good, don't get me wrong, but I just don't like it too severe. It just gives it a little bit of a softer tone. So now we've got our lovely antique linen down, our first colour. We're going to add a little bit of tattered rose just to give it a little bit of highlight, just to peach it up a little bit so it doesn't look too plain. I usually follow around your stamped lines. Obviously your card is still wet, so you haven't got to worry, your colour will still flow on your paper, or your cardstock should I say. We're just going to add a little bit of detail. I know it doesn't look like it's in the right places at the moment, but it will do. I'm going to go back in with just a little bit of water, just to soften it a little bit, just to give it a little bit of shade in places, not all over obviously. And then we're going to go in with a little bit of the aged mahogany, which is like the real dark, it's almost like a pinky red really, and we're going to emphasize that just a little bit more. So we're going to pick up a little bit. It's quite a dark colour, the aged mahogany, and then we're going to just spend a little bit more time this time just highlighting those lines, just to give it a little bit more detail, and just to so it looks like it's like whipped ice cream rather than just flat. Now you see there I've got a little bit too much colour. I'm just going to rinse my brush, do my little circles, and it'll just blend it out. Just go back in again and it'll just soften it all. So you're best to do when you're adding your darker colours like this, just to do a little bit at a time, because then you'll find that it won't dry. You'll still have time to move it around and shade. So put a little bit more dark around here and go back in again with a little bit more water. At home I would probably normally take a little bit more time, but just because we're doing it for your lovelies, the little video for those that get the kits, I'm going to speed it up just a tiny bit. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's just putting those 3 colours down there so it gives like a varied whip on the top. Just add a little bit more of the aged mahogany and down the bottom here, and never forget your side bits as well. And we're just going to blend it all a little bit more to make sure it looks quite nice and cute actually. It die cuts lovely. Also this waterpress card is quite thick as well, and I had no trouble putting it through my Sizzix machine. And then you've got like your different tones there for your lovely little top of your drink. And then for our cherry, we're going to rinse our brush, and then we're going to use aged mahogany straight off, and we're going to go really heavy for our little cherry down this side here. I've got no water on my brush, this is just literally ink. So you're going to choose your dark side, which is obviously this one, and then I'm going to pull it over just a little bit, and then this is where I'm going to get a little bit of water. So you're keeping one side darker than the other. And I'm just going to pull it over, just a little bit of water. You can see that there's a line there in the middle, but don't worry about that, we're going to blend that out in a minute as well. So I picked up a little bit more of the dark aged mahogany, and I'm going to go over like that. And obviously my brush has picked up some of the colour, so I'm going to take that off as well. A little bit of swooshing, little tiny little circles, and then you've got a dark side and a highlighted side for your little cherry as well. I'm going to go just a little bit darker on this side, just like it a little bit more darker. Some people have highlighting pens. You could put a little bit of white on there if you had a highlighting pen, which I haven't got one in my bag today. But if you have one at home, you could always add that to your little cherry. So we'll rinse our brush again, and we're going to pick up some of the forest moss, which is the green, and I am going to die cut the cherry out, but I'm still going to colour it a little bit green so that we've got actually I might cut the cherry out, it might just make it a little bit quicker. So just it's gone out the edge. We've already done our wording. Again, it's done with the grey, and then just to give that hugs a little bit of difference at the bottom, I've used the bottom of the I've used the aged mahogany just to put a little bit of colour at the bottom of the hugs there as well. Using a little bit of ground espresso, I'm just kind of distressing the edges of the card using one of these lovely sponge daubers that we have, just to make it a little bit different. As I said, when I stamped it, I used a different colour ink at the bottom, which was aged mahogany, just to give it a little bit of contrast as well. So then we're going to pick up some of that aged mahogany in the tattered rose that we've used to do your creamy bit there. We're going to add that at the bottom as well, just to give it a little bit of difference. So good old faux stitching, as they say on the telly. I'm not quite so posh, so I usually say fake stitching. It's really nice just to add a little bit of detail. I've used the blue, the lovely skinny blue pen, and then we're going to go around the mug, and some lovelies just do like a little running stitch, which is what I usually always do. There is other lovelies that do like a little line, little dot. Some lovelies like to use a ruler as well, but that never worries me. Because I love things rustic, so I'm just going to follow all the way around our little mug shape. Oh, and cherry's getting stuck there underneath. Around our mug shape. These pens are fantastic as well. This is my original one that I've had for, oh my god, over 2 years now, so they just keep going. So to keep it all in the same colour scheme as well, we're going to go around our lovely little sentiment that's going to go on the front as well. But I love faux stitching. I think it looks really, really pretty and gives it a little bit of detail. So just to make our sentiment pop a little bit, we are going to like kind of just bend the card a little bit, and I'm going to put just 3D foam down the middle so that the middle is like domed, and then the sides I just stick down with just normal. Leave my little pokey tool down here because I have no nails. They're growing, but they're not there yet. So I put 3D foam down the middle like this, a couple of layers, and then I'm actually going to just put a little bit of glue down the sides like this, so that you get that nice domed bit in the middle. And then we're going to position it, make sure I am doing it a bit back to front, so sadly I'm going to turn it round so it does face me, and then I'll spin it round and show you. So we're going to pop this little one just on here, so you see that you got that lovely raised bit in the middle, and then you glue just at the sides to hold it down. Give it a little press. Okay, so you got that nice little dome there, and then with our creamy top, I'm actually going to just stick that down flat, and you just need it on the edge, so you don't need no glue on this top bit, just along this rim here. I love my bookbinding glue. It was a lovely customer who told me about it a little while ago, and it's my absolute favourite now, truly. And then we got our little cherry, which is so sweet, which I'm going to stick flat as well this time. And for some reason, I like to stick things to the right. I do not know why. So our little cherry is going to go just here. And with this stamp set as well, you can mix and match. You get so many little different things. You can use up your scrappy bits of paper at home. And there we go. And that's how I did those 3 that are down there, and just changed the colour of the creams and everything, and then you can make your little bunting. And don't be afraid to colour all your little wooden bits with your distress inks. I've not used no paints or anything. I've just used distress ink to colour them all up. You've got your little charm, you've got your string, your button, your little pegs, everything you need to do a lovely little bit of bunting for your craft room. Thank you.